Hi, welcome to Storycraft Time. I'm Miss Stella from the Bethpage Public Library Children's Room. Today we're going to make a rainbow out of paper with doing paper quilling, and it's going to look something like this. This is unfinished. This is what we're going to work on. So for all you kids though that are in 4th and 5th grade and want to get 21st century credit, you must make the craft, take a picture of it, or bring it into the library. And if you want to email it to us, you email it to the children's room at bethpagelibrary.info. You have until March the 10th to submit this into the library in order to get that 21st century credit. Okay, so now let's get on with the craft. Now, paper quilling involves all these little strips of paper. Comes like this, and they're little strips that we're going to curl and put into different shapes, all different colors. We have a template that you all should have received in your craft bag, the template, the papers you got, and you got your quilling roller, okay? So what we're gonna do now is I also took this, and what I did, I decided to write color with colored pencils or crayons, whatever you have. I got some colored pencils, and like say, I decided to put the colors in order, like a rainbow. And everybody knows that a rainbow is Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So I did, to make it simpler, is I just outlined the top of this. So I'm gonna put it down on my paper. And just to show you a little bit, I colored it so that, not the whole thing, just like the outline. I just went around it like that, and then my papers are gonna fill it in, but I figured so that the gray line doesn't show. You're also gonna need tacky glue for this craft to put the paper, glue it onto that. And I always use a little toothpick in order to put the glue, okay? So here is my toothpick, and I use this to put the glue onto the paper. All right, so they also, like I said, this is our rolling pen that has a little slit. If you hardly can't really see it here, but in here there's a slit, and in that is where we will fit our paper. I'll just separate the sheets, the colors. So I'm gonna take one of my yellows, and I always just go like this to the paper, just to give it, to straighten it, to make it easier to curl. Just go over it twice. Don't over pull, you can rip it. And I cut these up in different sizes, but I just want to show you here that you just push it through. Now you see I have it in, and then you take it to the very tippy tip, like that. And then I'm going to place my thumb over it, and then you begin with this finger, hold it to, and you roll. Now, I'm not gonna roll this one because I was just showing you how to do that. So what we do is we make all different, we're making circles this time just to make it simpler. So I have some of my circles made. I have some bigger ones. I made some teeny tinier ones. Make all different sizes of what you want. If you could see it like that. Whoops. So you have different sizes, colors, and we're gonna fill in, like I said, on here, I already curled all my reds and my orange, and I did some of this. Now with the clouds, I went over it with gray. I outlined the clouds, and then I fill them in. It's not complete yet, but I'm going to fill them in with just some swirls, okay? Remember, you could do this any way you want. If you don't want to make curls, round circles, you could just take your strips, cut them straight, and put them onto your paper to fit in your spot. Whoops. And just glue it along that way, like that. Whichever way, to fill into the little spaces of the colors. You could be creative any way you like. It's your artwork, use your imagination. But I'm gonna show you how to do it with the circles. So that you could see what I'm doing, I put the camera lower so that you could see the craft. So what I do now is I wanna finish filling in my yellows, my greens, and my blues. You don't have to put them like mine are not all, if you wanna see it this way, there is some space. That's why I tell you to color it with the crayon or the pencil to hide it, because it could have a little space. Or you could make really little tiny curls and fill it in if you want to. But I'm happy with the way my red came out and my orange. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to make it with the yellow. So again, I have my strip. You're also going to need a scissor, because I have a little scissor that came with my kit. And you cut different sizes. So if you want bigger curls, you're going to go with a bigger piece. And all you need is like about that much to make one of your large curls. It's not that much, okay? So I will show you how to do that now. So I take that, just cut it straight across like that. And I take my quilling curler and I, again, like I said, put it into the slot. Okay, so it's in the slot, but I want to bring it to the very tip like that. And I hold it with my finger and my thumb here, and I start to roll it. See, it goes rolled all around. And you got to kind of push it so it stays even and just keep curling it. So you need to hold it. You're going to have to hold it, and you just turn this. See, it's rolling in there. See, okay, so now I have it all rolled on here like that, and I just pull it off. And I could let it open up a little bit in my hand like that. So now, here's where it comes in the glue. I take my glue, I'm gonna open it. And what I do is I just squeeze the bottle so that the glue comes up. And I put a little dab on the toothpick. Then I'm going to put that right here on the very end of the curled paper. So all you need is a little drop. You don't need that much. Just like that, a little bit. Then I lean my toothpick on top of my glue, and I just turn this, and I hold it down a little. Hold it down for a few minutes so that it dries. Okay? You see like that? So I give it a little bit, and it is now, it's not completely dry, but it's a piece that you could work with. So then what I do is I turn it on my finger, and again, I'm going to dip into my glue, and I put a little glue on my toothpick like that, and I put it on one side of the paper. I just dab it here and there. You don't want it to be too gloppy so that it goes on it. You're gonna get a little sticky on your hands. And then I take that and I'm going to put it where I want on my yellow. So I'm going to fill in this spot over here. So I just put it there and I push it in to fit. And this, you could also use another toothpick like that, but I have a tool like this, which is just a straight end. And I put it in here and I kind of move my circle around to get it where I want it. I open it up a little, the circle, to make it look nice. I'll show you. See, so I played around with it a little and it moves and I could fit it the way I want. I kind of hold it down a little bit like that. And that's it. It's placed in the spot. So I will continue to fill this. Now I've made some ready ones I could show you. Here, I have this one rolled up. Now this looks, let me put it on this so you could see. This doesn't look even, looks like that, but I'm going to, when I put the glue, I will spread it out. So with this one, what I'm gonna do actually, I'm just gonna put some glue down on the paper. You don't wanna put too much because your paper will get heavy and it'll start curling a little. So I just put some glue here, I rub it in. Okay, I don't know if you can see that I put the glue right there, okay? And I'm going to take this one that I already made and I'm gonna put it down there. And I'm gonna take this little tool again, I'm gonna hold it down so it gets in the glue and I start opening the circle in the middle. I spread it out a little, just move it around. I kind of hold it with my fingers too, until I'm happy that what shape I want it in. Just spread it around like that. See, so now I put that one like that and it looks nice. You can see the circles. So now I'll take a smaller one. Here's a smaller one that I have ready. Just show it to you. A little smaller one. I already pre-glued them. So now this just needs a little dab of glue right on the bottom. So I hold it between my fingers and I add some glue to it. Just a little bit of glue, okay? And I'm gonna decide where I want it. So this space needs filling over here. So I'm going to try to get it in there because it's a tinier piece. I could push it in and fill up that spot. And again, I can use my tool just to shape it and fit it in better. And now I filled that spot right there, okay? So you're just gonna continue doing it like that. And I'm gonna show you like another one. Here's another one. Again, I have it loosely curled so that when I put glue on my project, I could spread it out. So let's put one over here now and see. Again, just gonna take some glue on my toothpick and I spread it over here. It's easier sometimes to just spread it on the paper because it's kind of hard to get it straight onto the quilling paper without making a bit of a mess. All right, so there's that. Now I take my paper, I'm going to place it, and you want it to touch the other circle. Now I'll take a toothpick, where instead of using my tool, so that I'm sure you'll have a toothpick, and you can just spread it out as you want it. Oh, it came off of that, so we want it closer to this. So I'm just gonna put it there, spread out my inner circle, and you kind of go around it and around until I want it where I want it. And I will put my finger to hold it a second so it gets all into that glue. And that piece was just added there, you see? So it's making pretty round circles. So now I'm gonna fill all this with yellow, but let me show you now I have some green. Take my green. And again, with this, like I said, you need a couple of inches of your paper. So you just decide where you want to cut it. Like I would probably, again, just use that much, little piece. The tighter you curl your ribbon, the tighter the curl will be. Sometimes you could just let it sit down on the table or on your hand and it'll roll out. Okay, but I have this pre-glued. So again, now I'm going to take the glue and I want it to be over here. So I'm gonna put it right there. I'll just add a little more so that I'm able to work with it better. As you can see, it's not that much glue. It's just a little bit that I put there. I'm gonna take my piece and I'm gonna put it right there. So it fills that spot. And I actually am pretty happy because it filled it pretty tightly. You could see, basically it's almost touching the top over here. So now I'm gonna take my toothpick without the glue so that I could swirl it a little. I'm gonna spread out my swirls just a little bit to get it where I want it. You could take your time, you just kind of curl it. Open each layer up so it makes more of a circle. All right, I'm gonna hold it. Let me show you how that curl came out. See, it came out like that. Now I have some little ones like that I made. And for the little ones, I'm gonna show you, all you need is a little strip. I'm just gonna cut this. Is this little tiny piece like that. I'm going to put it in my curling tool. Again, hold it on my finger. Then I hold my thumb on the top to keep the paper in. Whoops, see, now it just fell because I didn't have it good. So again, you're gonna just put it in the spot. Pull this down so it's just meeting the top and start curling. And hold it with your fingers so that it goes round like that. My thumb is gonna hold a piece and I just go round and round. And you curl it onto your tool like that. And sometimes I just make it go round and round so the end piece turns and it stays curled. So that came out like that, little tiny one. Now I'm going to glue the end. So I kind of hold it in my fingers like that, open that paper, and just put a dab of glue there and hold it tight and closed in my hand like that. Just hold it there a second. I kind of roll it so that it glues shut, like that. So I have my little curl. I'll show you. Just made a little tiny, with that little strip, you just made a little curl to fill in. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna try to fill in. I'm gonna put it actually right up here on the top of this. So I'll take my glue again, put a little glue on the bottom. You don't need crazy amounts of glue, just enough. And then I'm going to put it right there. Sometimes it falls like this one did. So I take either my toothpick or my pointing tool and I just put it in, and it filled it in right there on the top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue to fill in my green. I have another ready one. So I take the green, the little one that I have. Again, I'm going to put glue. Dip my glue. Your hands might get a little sticky. You have to kind of wipe off the glue. I'm going to take the glue, just put a little bit over here, like that. So I have some. Let's make sure we get on all sides. And I'm going to take it and fill a spot where I want it. Oops, it stuck to my hands. You see what I said? Okay, so we just put it in, and it filled it in over there. I'm going to go more towards the line so it gets filled in. And there you are, filling in the piece over there. Okay, so you just continue. And here's a bigger green, a looser coil. And again, with this one, I'm just going to put it down. I don't know if you can see it better that way. I'm going to put it, glue onto the paper. Okay, so let me again take my glue, and I'm going to put it next to this other coil because we want it to get filled in a little. So let's just rub some glue here, spread it out. And sometimes you should put on the side over here of this so that it sticks to the side piece. Okay, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to lay it in right here where I have my glue, and I take my tool again, kind of hold it with my hand and spread it out. And I'm spreading and spreading. And then I hold it with my hand a couple of seconds so that it takes to the glue. And there's another curl. I'm going to show you now with a blue one. Again, this one I made even looser to fill the spot. Okay, so this spot here looks pretty big. So I'm going to put my glue on there. Remember, you guys should have your work area covered. See, I just dropped glue, got onto the tablecloth. So I have it covered with a tablecloth. You could use a cardboard box to work on. Box top, piece, so that you don't get your work area dirty, and you should wear old clothes so you don't get any glue on it. Okay, so I put my glue there. Again, I'm going to take my piece. I'm just going to plop it in there like that. I put it in there and take my tool and spread it out. But again, you have to try to hold it because you got to wait for the glue to dry up a little to hold it in place. So I'm spreading it where I want it. I actually think I need a little more glue, so I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put some on the edges of the paper. See, just like that. You just gently rub it a little. We're going to put a little glue to hold it here on this piece, which I didn't do before. Okay, just need a little drop. Take it, put it back, just like that. I'll show you with the toothpick now. Grab the toothpick as I hold this in place and open the curls. Just kind of go round and round like that until you get it where you want it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, held it, and we added that one there. See? So it made a nice curl. So we're just going to continue putting all the pieces until we come to the very end of all our colors in place. So let me just show you now for the clouds. Like I said, I outlined. So I carefully went around the picture, like the blank one that I gave you. I put my glue over here a little bit at a time. I put it on the lines and I filled in the gray. So let me show you that on this. So I have my gray. I'm just going to take it out of my package. And we're going to take off a strip, and I will show you how to get on there. Okay, so I got my gray paper out. You see how it's a little curled and bent? So again, like I said, I'm going to run it through my fingers, just like this. I pull it. I go back and forth both ways, so that kind of straightens to get the kinks out. I actually just ripped a piece, which could happen if you pull too much. So now what you're gonna do with this is you're going to outline. You're just gonna follow the gray lines. So you put a little glue at a time and go around. So let me show you. I'm just gonna go straight on the bottom first. You don't have to cut it because you're gonna need the whole thing. And just put a little glue. Try as less as you can. Be as neat as you can to get across. I don't put glue all over the project. Just put a little bit to start. And then I place it right as best as I can onto that gray line. And give it a second to dry. Now this is tacky glue, so tacky glue kind of dries a little faster. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it there. Let me see if I can follow, just like that. And that is how you're going to make your outline. You're just going to continually glue it along. Okay, so it's staying. And as I do that, as it dries up in each area, I add more glue. And I'm going to go all around. So now that's kind of okay there. So I take a little more glue and I place some more on my line. Just a little bit. Dab it across. Dip it into my glue, and again I added more glue. I'm going to place my strip again to stick on the new area of glue. You have to have a little patience. This is a project that takes a little bit of time. It's very detailed. You have to wait for glue to dry, and you want it to look nice. So we just hold it here. I mean, on one row, like just doing this can take over an hour if you want to put so many rolls like I did. It takes time, so you have to have patience to do that. All right, so that's going. So that area dried, okay? Again, it needs a little more time to dry, but I'm just trying to show you. So then what I'm gonna do now is put my glue here around the curve of the cloud. Okay, a little bit of glue around the curve, so that it stick. And I take this corner, you can see over here, I take this corner and I kind of bend it with my nail. I hold it and I'm just bending it along my nail to give it the end shape. And I'm going to hold it like that in place on the glue, on the curve. So you're going to continue this way, just following the shape, giving it some time to settle. The glue will, get tacky and it'll stick and you can work with it. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, but when you put those circles, it will, hold, or the way we're going to design it. So that is what you're going to do. You're going to continue along the shape by just letting it sit and dry a second. You can bend the current like that, like onto your nail, so you get the curl. Put a little glue. Let me just get a little glue on here. Whoop, too much glue. Okay, and I'm just going to put, all you need is to follow that line and put a little glue. You could judge it if you need a little more over here. Okay, you see how I just put some of that glue on there like that? Then I'm going to take, again, my paper and fit it along that piece. So I fit it along, we got the curve, but I'm gonna hold it so that until the glue takes to it. And you just patiently wait for it to take some shape. See, it didn't take that long. Again, bend it along my nail like that so I get the curve. I'm going to put my glue again. Put my glue onto my toothpick. And I'm going to go along the gray line. A little more. Okay, just put the glue. Don't worry if you go out of it. You're going to fill it in after with the colors. So okay, and I follow that, and again I hold it and I wait. So that's what we're gonna do, is how we're gonna finish that. You're just gonna continue going around all the shape. If the color is not enough, well, this one piece is more than enough for that. So when you get to the end, after you've made all your shape, you're gonna cut off a little bit at the end and then just glue it to your other piece of paper. Whoops, I let go of that and it came off. So let me just finish doing this so that you get the idea of how the end is gonna be. All right. Hold it there. I'm gonna put the glue on the next line. It's just like coloring on top of the line. Okay. So I got that. Bending it with my nail. And bringing the paper around the shape. Okay, I bent it with my nail. And I'll put more glue as I'm holding the other piece so that it dries. Just gonna go along. Okay, I got the glue. And I'm gonna shape it again to this. Oops, slipping out of my hands there. All right, now I'm gonna hold that down and I'm gonna bend this little area so that it has a curve. Hold it. Now you see that the paper is too long. So I'm gonna measure and I'm gonna cut it about here, this little piece, because then I could put it on the bottom of the other strip so that it glues together. I'm just gonna, before it dries, I'm gonna snip it, hold that back over there. Take this and I'm gonna fold with my nail again. I'm just going to make the curve there, put my glue all around there. A little bit on the strip over here. I'm putting it on the bottom of this piece. And I will turn this on there, hold it, and the pieces will glue together. That is how I make the outline of the cloud, okay? So now let's go back to our other piece. I could show you how I make the swirls on the cloud, okay? So I just made bigger swirls. So I take a piece of my gray paper that you got in your kit, right? Just smooth it out a little again. And I'm going to put it in here and make a curl, like how we did. But I'm not gonna make, I'm just gonna, in the beginning I make it tight. And then I'm just gonna loosely curl it. I want it, the whole thing to curl. Okay. So we have this piece. And it's gonna look like that. Put it on the tool so you can see. I didn't roll it all the way. I have this piece open. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the top of this piece and glue it to an area on the gray of the cloud, on the strip and the inside, okay? So I'm gonna say I'm gonna put a little glue right inside this cloud here. I'm just gonna put a little bit over here and I'm gonna take the top of my paper and attach it to that spot where I have the glue and give it a second to dry. You see that I put it there? So that's drying. I'll even hold it with my toothpick to make sure it's secured in there. And I'm gonna start uncurling this so that it gives more of an open shape, all right? And I'm gonna glue it actually down here on this piece now. Again, take a little glue. I'm gonna put a little glue on the inside piece here so I can attach my paper. Uncurl it with my tool. I'm using the toothpick. I'm gonna hold it there to dry. See? So now I attach it to the top of the cloud and to the bottom. Just like that, holding it with the tool, and it dries. Then what I'm gonna do is just put a little glue over here underneath the paper. Just gonna add, I'm gonna pick it up, just gonna add actually a little glue to the paper so that it will, well, put this back there, okay? And then I'm going to It says we're not waiting for it to dry there. And I just make the curl, and it dried like that. And hold it a second with your hands to let it go into the place that you want it. So you see how you just made the swirl. So you go along, I'll show you another swirl. Take another strip of the gray. Got my gray again. I'm going to straighten it out. I'm only going to cut a piece off. I'm going to say that much, okay? So it's not a big strip. Less than half of it. This is it. This is the whole strip. It's not even as big as the paper. If I show you the sample from the end, it's just up to there. Okay, take my curling tool. Remember the end, I'm just going to do tighter. And then I make a loose curl, and I'm not going to curl to the very end. So start curling, and I just curl. Okay, continuous curl, and I leave that open. And I let it uncurl a little, okay? So again, we're just going to glue this to one part of the cloud. So I take a little glue, and I'm going to put it right up here in this piece. You can make as much curls as you want, and I'm going to take the toothpick to help me along and push that paper and attach it. See, I just attached it to the top by pushing it along like that. Oh, wrong one. Right there. Okay. So give it a second, and then I'm going to uncurl this. And I'm going to glue it now to the bottom. I'm going to put a little glue on my paper, like that. I'm going to uncurl it, like that, just by pulling it with the toothpick. And hold it so it glues to the paper. I've got to hold it a second, okay? So we give it a little bit of time for the glue to dry. Okay, just make sure it's secure everywhere. On the top, just rub it with your tool, rub it to the bottom, and then again we're going to add glue to the back of the curl after it's dried a little better, but just now to show you. So I put some glue back here to go on the papers. Okay, and then I put it down. I might rub a little glue over here too on the paper to give it a little more help there. I take my curl and I start spreading it around. Hold it kind of into place and keep uncurling the middle as much as I want or as little as I want. I'm going to just swirl it around. You kind of push it along with your fingers. And that's my curl. So now you get the idea. You're just going to keep cutting little strips of the paper of the gray and fill in your clouds. So that we will finish now making it, and I will show you in the end how it's done. Again, I have all my little pieces. You could put them down and just see how you like them. That fills it in. So let's put some more blue there. And put some glue onto the papers. Okay, whoops, take the paper like that, a little glue so that you can play with it. Now, that was a big blob, but you spread it around. And I'm going to place it on my piece. Take my tool, which our tool right now is a toothpick, and put it there. And I'll take my next piece and fill it in. So that's the idea, and I will show you it finished in a second. Okay, so I just want to show you what the finished project looks like. Here is our finished rainbow. You see, it's all filled in. You could fill it in as much or as little as you want. All the colors are there. And then if you want, you could take a piece of construction paper and you could back it on to your picture just to make it look pretty like that. You could tape it on, staple it on, and then you could hang it up as a decoration. And that is our finished rainbow, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed making your rainbow and learning how to do some paper quilling. But just want to remind everybody again who is in 4th and 5th grade, if you want to get those 21st century credit points, you need to send in a finished picture of your craft to the children's room at bethpagelibrary.info. You have until March the 10th to hand this in to us. You can come in person and hand it to us, or you can email it, like I said, to the children's room at bethpagelibrary.info. Well, it was nice seeing you guys again. We'll see you next time for another craft. Hope to see you soon in the library. Bye-bye.